Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Proven Inspiration. Our topic for today is hot pink or pale blue. You're probably thinking, what on earth is hot pink or pale blue? They're colors, as you know, but what this topic really is targeted towards is to provide you with information and training on how to receive and give influence in a relationship. So this is for happily married couples, or you're happily married couples. We're gonna stick with HP, happily married couples. Too often, what I find is bitterness and anger and resentment can rise up in a relationship because one partner feels unappreciated, they feel unheard, they feel that their opinions don't count. And this is something that definitely needs to be worked on. It's a communication issue. It's an issue that needs intentionality. And just like everything else, Rome wasn't built in a day. Because like you may have been living single for like a long time and now you're in a relationship, you're married, you don't know how to incorporate this other person into your life. So you just carry on making decisions the way you were making decisions when you were single. But I have news for you. You are no longer single. You are now married, which means the two must become one. But it takes practice. And one way to start is to start with involving your partner in your decision making process. When it comes to big things like holidays, holiday destinations, or purchasing of a house, those are big decisions that you definitely mustn't make by yourself. But in a relationship, when you start with the small things, you build up, and just making those small actions and leaning towards each other in small ways actually adds to your relationship, and makes you stronger with your partner. So for instance, I'm going to use like very traditional roles. So traditionally women are home, they look after the home, things to do with the home, food, decor, whereas men look after like the electronics, cars, and things like that. But I know that in today's world, those roles are interchangeable. But just get the principle from what I'm saying, because your relationship might very well be different. But for instance, if you're a female, you're a woman in your relationship, and you want to make dinner, and you're torn between two things that you don't mind making, because cooking can be quite a drawn out process. You've identified two things you don't mind cooking, and you know that those two things your husband likes, those two meals. Ask him, like, honey, would you like a roast today, or maybe pasta bake? Ask him, and whatever he says, then you go with it. By doing that, it's such a small thing, but by doing that, you make him feel valued. You make him feel like his opinion matters to you, and you're thinking of him. You're thinking of decorating your home, for instance, and you have lots of options in front of you. Now, there are women out there who decorate their home like it's just for them, like everything is pink and fluffy and furry. That's never a good idea, because a man does live in that house. So it's good to think about that when you're choosing color options, and making sure that the colors represent both male and female styles. So you could actually do your research, identify perhaps two patterns or two styles that you like as it relates to the decor of the home, and then present it to your husband and say, honey, which would you prefer? And whatever he says, you go with it, because at the end of the day, you liked both of them anyway. So by doing that, you make him feel valued. Most men don't care about what cushions you have, what color they are, but they do want to know that their opinion matters to you. Conversely, from a man's perspective, you might be thinking of buying a new car. You've done the research as it relates to the engine size, the capacity, everything that you need in the car. But you're torn now. You've narrowed it down to the Maserati and the Bentley, for instance. I don't know much about cars, but I like those two cars. You've narrowed it down to those two cars, and you don't mind either one. And you ask your wife, like, honey, which one do you think I should go for? I'm not sure which one to go for. By asking her whatever she chooses, and you go with that, you're letting her know that you value her opinion. So when you start making those small steps towards each other, you get to influence each other. When you influence each other, you make the other person feel valued. You make your partner feel valued, and when they do the same with you, it makes you feel valued. It could be styling each other, like you don't know what to wear. Say, honey, what should I wear? And then they style you. I know women are more fussy with their outfits, so you could pick out two outfits or three and say, honey, I'm not sure which one to go for. Whatever they say, your husband says, you go with that, because you already like all three anyway. But you want him to know that his opinion matters to you. So by incorporating your partner's choices into your life, you get to influence them and they get to influence you. And what that does is that it makes you more tight as a unit. When you're in a business and you have a partner, you can't just make decisions by yourself. You have to check with your business partner. It's the same thing in a relationship. You are now in a partnership. You have said vows that you agree to be one, okay? So that means you have a partner, and when you check off with each other daily, weekly, you're checking off with each other, it brings you closer together, because even when your partner is not, you're thinking about him like, oh, I wonder what my husband would say, or oh, I wonder what my wife would say. That makes you tighter. That brings you closer. So it's either hot pink or pale blue, depending on what option they choose. Then you go with it. Okay. So there's a saying that goes, love does not insist on its own way. And if one partner is always getting their way, you can cause resentments and bitterness in that relationship. So take all of that away. Wipe away the slate and start today by incorporating your partner's choices and your partner's decisions into your life. Okay, so those are my tips for you today. Please feel free to share this video with whoever you think needs to hear it. From my heart to yours, until next time, stay safe. Bye.